Guitar Ninjas! In this video we're going to have a look at taking our minor pentatonic scale and turning it from, instead of a straight down pattern, to a diagonal run up the neck. So this pattern adds just a few notes compared to our normal first position shape. We basically could run down and just go up a few notes on the high E to reach the end of that third octave. But what we've done is rearrange those notes to help us travel up and down the neck in an easier manner. So what we're kind of doing, to put it simply, is playing one octave and getting back to our root note. So remember, the pentatonic has 5 notes. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to play 1, but I'm using my first finger for both, so that I can get ready to start the shape again here for the next octave. Now I've had to come up a fret because of the B string tuning, but if I played both of those with the first note, I'd land on the root note again, ready to start my third octave, giving me 3 complete octaves and a run that covers 12 frets. So before we go in close and I show you this in detail, the other thing to realise about this is it's a way of connecting our 6-string first position from both one octave and the next octave. So there's only 12 notes in music, so if I play the G minor pentatonic on 3rd fret, because that's a G, if I come all the way up to 15, so 3 add 12, then I've got the minor pentatonic scale again. That's also in G, just an octave higher. So what we can actually do with this diagonal run is get between one and the other. So if I go down the 6-string shape here and back up in the first position, do my diagonal run, and then go up and then back down here, you can see that I've connected the two together. So by now you should already know your first position 6-string minor pentatonic shape. If not, check out one of the other videos that covers that. We're now going to do a diagonal pattern broken down. So for the sake of today's video, we are going to do this in the key of G. So I'm going to start on 3rd fret. We're going to go and do the first octave's worth. So this is our first 5 notes of the minor pentatonic. Then when we go to play the 6th note, which we'd normally play with our ring finger, instead of doing that, we're going to bring our whole hand up to start the diagonal pattern. So we're going to come up and play the 5th fret with our first finger as well on the D string. So now that we've finished that first octave and our first finger is on the 5th fret, we're now ready to start the shape again. We can treat this shape almost like we're starting again up here, but just starting from the 5th fret on the D string. Now we're going to start with that normal shape, so our little finger is going to come down here on 8th fret, so 5, 8, 5, 7. Now because the B string is tuned differently, our last 2 notes are going to have to come up 1 fret. So we end up going 6 and 8. So if I do that from the beginning, we got 5, 8, 5, 7, 6, 8. And again, if we do both of those with the index, it gets us ready for the 3rd octave. So I'll play that bit by itself. Notice that step in to do 6 and 8. So if I link the first shape and the second shape together, we get this. Now if we're doing the run, I wouldn't play that root note twice, but I wanted you to hear the end of the first shape and the beginning of the second. So if I was to normally run this, I'd make every note the same length and not repeat that root, so it would be like this. Getting that far, if you're not comfortable yet, I'd pause the video because I'm about to move on to the next bit. Okay, so our third octave now, we're back on a root note with our first finger. So what we can do is play the shape again as if we were starting, like we've started each octave. So we're going to start on this fret now, which is our 8th. So it's going to be 8, 11, 8, 10. And unfortunately we haven't got enough of a string to do 8, 10 again. So instead, those last two notes, we're going to go up the E string. So starting on the second string, on the 8th fret, you've got 8 and then 11. Then to the first string, 8 and 10. And then our last two notes, we're going to come up to 13th and then 15. Now, it doesn't matter which finger you use, because I've just finished with that third, I'm just going to run up with a third finger myself, but it's down to personal preference. So that last shape again, starting on 8th fret on the B string. If I went over that a bit too quick, remember there's always tab with these videos, so you can find a link to the tab or it will be on this page. If I do that full run again, we've got octave 1, octave 2, octave 3. And if I put it into one smooth run, we get this. Obviously, we can try this backwards as well. So there you have the diagonal pattern of the minor pentatonic scale. Now remember, we can do all of our random exercises with these, trying to go up 4 notes, starting from the next note and running up 4, and breaking it up with random patterns to help us understand this shape better. Remember that the whole scale can be moved up or down, so try and visualise the shape you're playing more than the fret numbers, because if we went from playing in G to F or A, the shape would be the same but the fret numbers would be different. And also remember that scales aren't there just to be boring exercises, they are there to help you write, jam, improvise and just play around. So have fun with them, know them well enough that we can start to turn them into solos and just enjoy the experience. So also try with drum beats or metronomes to try and help keep your timing and do it in a fun way, which is why I tend to use backing tracks or drum beats more than a boring metronome.